You've directed how many features now?
4 features, 2 anthologies.
If you can name like 5 key things that you need to make a feature film or need to get into filmmaking, what are those essential things that you can't do without at all? Be it, you know, kind of qualities or assets, people, you know.
A camera.
Yeah, camera.
Yeah, definitely one of those. You can talk to people about it, but they won't pay to rent that. You need at least one person who mirrors all the things that you haven't got. I'm very lucky. Creatively, over the last few years, I've worked with my wife, as I say, Pippa, who as a producer, all the things that I can't do or I'm naturally very bad at, she deals with all of those. And I've also been lucky enough to work with Paul Cousins on an ongoing basis, who works on a lot of design stuff that I just have no eye for whatsoever. And if you're working with no money, you need those things, you need those essentials. And I've been so lucky to have a crew around me of people who fit the gaps, the stuff that I just can't do. I have wonderful, reliable people to go to. So nobody can go out and make a movie on their own. Yeah. It's the people around you. And probably that's your 5 things. It's 5 really cool people that you can cruise off, basically.
Definitely, no, that's great advice. And finally, Horror-on-Sea. What do you think about it? Promoting independent British films, horror. Well, not just British; it's all over the world.
Yeah.
Horror films in general.
I loved horror. I came down and did Horror-on-sea last year, and in fact, viewers, you can go and watch last year's live show, Werewolves, Cheerleaders and Chainsaws. You can go and watch that. That's like an hour and change of advice and stuff. And this year's one, which is Fake Blood, Real Guts, should probably be going up online at some point too. That's just plugging stuff. Oh, and go and buy all my movies as well. While you're doing it. That's it, not that camera. There we go.
Just as an example, why did you make your first feature?
Madness. I always wanted to make movies, always desperately wanted to make movies. Got out of university and couldn't, go and make movies. So went and worked in Blockbuster Video and seethed, and the kids nowadays can't even do that. They can't even seethe in Blockbuster Video. All the Blockbuster closed down. What's up with that? So I just sort of sat and dreamt of stuff and worked as a runner on shoots and things like that. And then one day we had a few grand in the bank and we were going to buy a car, and I said to my wife Pippa, could we try and make a movie instead? And because she's the most amazing human being on the planet, she said yes, so we did.
She said yes.
She actually did. And then on my later movies she came on board as a producer, and she was a hell of a lot better at it than I was, so it actually ended up working really, really well. But yeah, the only reason it made sense and the only reason that I was able to get that movie distributed was because it was really hard to make movies at that time. I know that sounds stupid, but 2003, home PCs couldn't cut DV, not one out of the box, not one, a regular one that you'd buy. Yeah. So it's only because it was tough to make movies that I was able to sell that I was able to get it distributed. And I genuinely think that nowadays, if I were to make my first film, I wouldn't be able to sell it in the environment that it is at the moment, because it's a lot easier. Nowadays, I think it's not necessarily enough to make a first feature. You've got to be a bit brilliant. As in, something's got to be brilliant. It can't just be a movie that anybody could make, because anybody can now. So it needs to be something that only you can make. The spark that's the thing that makes you want to make movies, you need to get that in there so that other people want to see the film you've made. Because the obstacle is no longer getting the film made, it's getting any bugger to watch it.
If we were to review one of your films, for example, which would you want us to get out there and show to the world?
Depends which world you're showing it to.
Okay.
I know that sounds kind of daft, but I've got a lot of love. I made a movie called The Devil's Music, which I love a lot. That's available on VOD at the moment. If you go to jinx.co.uk, you can actually just buy it as a download. It's one of the only, a couple of them are on iTunes and things, but that's the only one that you can buy through our website. But that's a slow burn. It's the kind of thing that, for people who like The Exorcist, things like that, it's a fake documentary about the Antichrist, and I'm really, really proud of that, and I love it. However, if people don't want a slow burn Exorcist style thing and actually want blood and nudity and things like that, then maybe head towards Bordello Death Tales or Killer Killer. Bordello Death Tales, I should add, is an anthology movie. I did 1/3 of that. The other 2 are Jim Eves and Al Ronald, who are both amazing filmmakers. So you get like a half an hour of me and half an hour of those guys, and they're good time movies. 2 Death Tales movies we've done now.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much.
Awesome. Pleasure.